So this one's not a bluegill. This one's big. I hope I don't lose this one. I don't want to swing this fish because I don't want to. We are back out on Beaver Lake. I've got a cold front blowing in, so I waited a little while before I came out on the water. It's just about noon. We're going to be targeting crappie. I have found several schools up through here. I don't know how deep they are. I've been side imaging the fish, but they're here. And we're going to go see if we can catch a few. Got some timber coming up here on the left, and I can see some crappie in that timber. I see them hanging in it. Right here, you can see those fish in around that tree. We're out here on the main river channel. I mean, it's just off to my right. It's really deep, and so about 90 feet or so. We are in the 1st of January. In fact, it's January 3rd today. I'm seeing lots of fish up through here in this standing timber. The wind's blowing into the bank. We'll see what that does to me. It might make things a little challenging to fish. Well, I've been idling up through here for a little while. I like what I'm seeing. Let's go see if we can catch some fish. Looks like maybe we have some crappie in this bush. It looks like a small brush pile somebody's planted. We're going to see if we can pull one out of it. Oh, they've moved. As I'm pulling up, those fish pushed down. I attempted to record active Captain Helm today. I learned I need to delete files twice to free up memory. Lesson learned. They're looking at it, but they're not biting it. So that tells me I'm going to need to try something a little bit different. I'm not going to give up on them, though. They look like some pretty good fish. I'm using a much heavier weight. This is what I was catching them on a couple of days ago. I'm using a 1/2 ounce tungsten weight, 2.5 feet up from the jig. You can see the crappie come out of the brush pile and look at it, but he doesn't chase it. I have thrown 4 different colors of this Bobby Garland slab hunter. It's a larger profile bait. 2 days ago, they weren't interested in the smaller profile baits. They wanted the larger profile, and they wanted it moving fast. The crappie will give you clues. They will let you know what they're interested in and what they're not. It might be a natural shad color, solid color, bright color. At times, the speed of the bait makes a big difference. Okay, that was an excellent example of them looking at the weight and having more interest in it than they do the bait. I've got a fairly large bait on and a small weight. And what I'm using right now is a 1/2 ounce tungsten weight. I was trying to get more speed on the bait. They were wanting it fast the other day. And I'm using not the itty bit slab hunter, but the actual slab hunter bait. And that is not what they're interested in. So I'm going to try to downsize and see if that makes a difference. We have a few fish up here in this tree. I've got a double jig rig on, trying 2 different colors. I'm having a tough time getting a bite today. We are trying to solve the puzzle. The clues crappie give aren't always the best, and it can take a while to figure it out. Not only am I trying different colors, but I'm also trying different jig head weights. I had one nibble at it, but he didn't eat it. They are just being really, really picky. It's time to try the slip bobber rig. It allows you to move the bait extremely slowly or stop it completely. If the crappie are at varying depths, it can require you to adjust the bobber stop more frequently. That's why I like using rubber bobber stops, because I can adjust them several times and they don't loosen up. It needs to be 10 feet deep. I didn't bring any minnows today. I'm going to figure something out with artificials, or go home without catching any crappie. Fortunately, I figured something out. And I think we're onto something. First one of the day. I caught it on a slip bobber. Just letting it sit. So they're looking for this bait to be very inactive. I fished the slip bobber for almost 20 minutes and came to the conclusion the wave action was creating too much up and down motion for the bait. I have now gone back to throwing the jig on the jig pole with some major adjustments. Got one of them. They're very tentative. Not very big either. There's some bigger ones in there. We'll see if I can catch a few of them. I have lightened up a lot. I am currently running a 64th ounce jig head, and I have a bead, but no weight. It sinks. I am using a glass bead, so it does provide a little bit of weight, but not much. I am catching fish. I just don't feel like I've narrowed it down enough. Feel them tapping it. The crappie need to be showing more interest in the bait. The bait needs to be small, and it needs to move slow. At this point, finding a bait that they will bite and not just nip is the challenge. Ooh, this is a better one. Didn't feel him hit it, but he's definitely shaking his head a bit. Nice black crappie. That one would make a big fillet. Caught bigger, but I'd be really happy with a live well full of those. Boy, they are not very aggressive. Okay. We'll try a different bait. This is one of several bait changes so far today, with several more bait changes to come. I just made another bait change. They're just nipping at it, they're not eating it. I just changed baits again. After using 5 different types of soft plastic in a total of 20 different colors, I have landed on the one. Well, maybe not the one, but it does work well. I'm actually moving the bait pretty fast on this cast. Well, I said those were bluegill. I think most of them are. This one's not a bluegill. Trying to figure out a color. They don't seem to be interested in much of anything I've been throwing. That's the first fish I caught on that color. I get bites on back-to-back casts here. On a day like today, that information is huge. Well, there was a fish on it. Even if the second bite does wrap me up in the tree and gets away, it's still good information. There we go. Another decent little black crappie. The bite is really slow today. And when they do take it, you don't feel them. They're just barely biting it. It's a very tentative bite. This cold front's really got them shut down. There's a few more crappie in this tree. I don't know if I can get one of them to come out of it or not. This bait's moving very slow. I get back-to-back bites here also. I don't know if this is the best color to be throwing today, but it is definitely far better than anything else I've tried. There we go. This is a Decent little fish. That's about the thickest white crappie I've seen in a while. Most of the white crappie have been kind of skinny. That one's been chewing. Maybe the tentative bite is going away, I hope. I have gone through several different colors. This is a color I've actually not thrown. It's one that I picked up because it looked like it would be a good color. There they are. Decent little fish. Found a color I think they're going to bite. So this one's not a bluegill. This one's big. I hope I don't lose this one. I don't want to swing this fish because I don't want to. I've got a net. Get this net out. This fish has been eating well. These are the kind of fish I'm looking for. 14.5 inches. Pound and 3/4. Nice one. A little bit about the equipment I'm using. I've got a ACC crappie sticks. It's the GS10M. It's a 10-foot jig pole. It gives me more control over the bait when I'm live scoping. I really like this rod. I've got a Shimano Sienna. It's the 1000 series, the reel. I've got 15-pound braid. And right now I don't have a weight. All I'm using is the bead. It is a glass bead, so it does have some weight to it. I've got the bobber stop above and below with a swivel. The bobber stop below the bead provides some protection to the knot. You can see that the bobber stop is actually down over the knot, keeping the bead from wearing on it. Then I've got 6-pound fluorocarbon line tied to a 1/64 ounce Leland Lures eye-hole jig. I am using the slab bites inside the eye hole. And this is a Bobby Garland 80-bit slab hunter in the color Wanted Monkey, they call that. It's got, basically it looks like a monkey milk on the bottom with a chartreuse top. It's the thing that I've been able to get some bites on. I've been struggling. All the colors I've used in the past aren't working. This is a color I've not thrown before. Yeah, that's what I was thinking most of those were bluegill. And proving me right. I just added a 3/0 split shot above the bead to help the bait get down just a little bit faster. I'm hoping it doesn't hurt the bite. It only weighs approximately 1/42 of an ounce. I don't have video of the graph here. My arm is in the way. The crappie are schooled up some, but only one or maybe two of the crappie in the group will bite. Got me one. They're down there. They're not all grouped up. It's just here and there. Good keeper fish. This is how I'm using forward mode and perspective mode at the same time to find crappie with my Garmins. This is perspective mode. I have the range set at 150 feet. At this setting, I can easily see trees and schools of fish. At this point, I'm thinking about which tree I want to target and how I need to position the boat to approach it. The wind's to my back, so I'll need to use my trolling motor to stop the forward motion of the boat. Turn the trolling motor back around. Find the tree. And now I'm going to turn off my perspective mode transducer to eliminate crosstalk going on between the units. When I was 35 feet away from the tree, you could see several crappie around it. Now that I'm 20 feet away from the tree, those crappie have moved in real close to it, and it makes them harder to see. There's a bunch of them over there. Pretty decent fish. At least I found a color that they're biting on. A little modification I make to the hook, I think, for why that's sticking so well. Nice fish. The number of crappie following the bait is the same. What has changed is the number of bites. The bite ratio has improved. Somebody's looking at it, and he ate it. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Well, they are sure not very active today. Decent little fish. Ooh, solid fish. I don't know if I can swing this guy or not. I'm gonna try. Yep, got him. Now he went after it. He's got it down in there. Nice little fish. Here's an example of how I can fix a bad cast with a 10-foot rod most of the time. By holding the rod over to the left side, I can direct the bait that I cast too far to the right, back over in alignment with the fish. I keep the live scope aimed at the fish and bring the bait across the live scope beam. I watch for when the bait will be aligned with the fish, then I move the rod back to the center and continue the retrieve. There we go. Well, with that, I'm going to shut it down. I want to go in. It's just about dark. I do thank you for watching. The thing is, on this day, what I've learned is don't quit. Just keep changing. Keep going through your colors until you find something that works. As you watch the fish, follow the bait, and they just don't commit, change it up. Change your speed. 2 days ago, I was moving the bait really fast. Today, they wanted it almost still. I added a little bit of weight on it to get it down a little bit faster, but I'm using what they call a 3/0 split shot along with the bead, and I've got a 1/64 ounce jig head. It's a lightweight setup. I am using 15-pound braid, so it helps it to get down a little faster. You guys have a blessed day. I'll see you on the water.